Right. How was the traction during those times, Chaitanya?
So there is 10x traffic for the first 30-35 days.
10x.
10x.
Wow. Okay.
And those guys got beta signups for about 20 to 25,000. Like out of them, there is like 5 to 10% who got to get into the next stage of the product subscription. They're evaluating multiple things, and all of those happen.
Okay. If you have, okay, just one more question, one more follow-up question with that. So if you have to mention which are the mediums that worked in that particular campaign, what would they be?
Uh, Influencer.
Mm.
Okay.
So figure out your right influencer. So that is what, because I'm not a trustworthy person in the HR space. I mean, if you want me to talk about in marketing, I can talk, but you need someone who can be the face of the release, who can be the trustworthy. So that is the medium there.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So just to take off from where we left off, let it these things. All right. So because you said, let's say G2 Crowd analyst is writing about no code and how people are spending very little money on the security aspect. Okay. You see that. Now, from the moment you have seen that to churning out a content, okay, what's the process? Like, do you sit down and write, or you tell your team to write it? Like, how does it go? Like the process, because you have to
Yeah.
right?
So just to give it idea, Upnox marketing team is very lean. Like it's a 3-member team.
Okay.
So initially, like whenever I just put them on Slack and they'll start researching from the right then. And within the first day, we have a draft, we have a landing page copy. Everything goes in like 3 to 4 days.
Okay. Or 3 to 4 days.
Maximum.
Okay. So same thing happens. Let's say this Elliot Alderson releases a Medium blog saying that Arogya said this. And then in 3 to 4 days, you're able to respond to him with a detailed analysis. Okay.
Yeah. And
so
then,
does that mean like you understand the product and the features as much as the tech team and the founders?
Actually, I would say a marketing team needs to understand better than the tech team.
Okay. Good point.
So let's see, tech team, there are few guys who dig into a lot of information, but there are few tech guys who work in a different way. You tell them, hey, this is what I wanted to build, they'll just build that. But marketing team need to understand how you build it, like what are the things involved in it. Is there someone who already built it, or is it useful? Who is the persona, and a lot of things.
Okay.
Even my founder comes back to me sometimes and say that, hey, this is what we're trying to do. What do you think? I mean, marketing needs to be on data, on features, having all eyes open all the time.
Right. So that's where your initial 45 days to 2 months of understanding your competitors, understanding your products better, that helps, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Okay. So any other thing that comes to your mind with respect to moment marketing that maybe that you have implemented, or maybe you have seen some other marketer implemented and you're like, man, like wish I had done that?
So there is other thing which we implemented at some point, like before joining Upnox implemented. So there is this particular time when we're going into this phase of a hard time of acquiring users.
Okay.
It's back then in 2016 when we are somewhere between whether Singapore is the right place or India is the right place and things. That is when we came up with a plugin for Android Studio.
Okay. Oh, nice.
It's called as a Grammarly for your code security.
Very nice.
So the kind of users which we wanted to target at that point of time are the initial developers in the companies like Freshworks, IBM, who won't buy a product, but they can spend enough like $20 to $15 to buy a product which can solve a lot of issues for their year. And then you can have a channel to approach their managers, super seniors, if you build that range of the product.
Okay. So how long did it take? Who came up with that idea?
So
Did it
one of
take
my
for you guys to
yeah,
build it?
my CTOs came up with the idea. It took us about 45 days to build the product.
Okay. Okay.
And then we were on production ranking 1 on security for about a month. Then that drove us about 25,000 visits, a lot of signups. I mean, we don't want it to be commercialized in the start. So what we did is we open sourced it. We want people to add features into it. So this is how the security domain works. So you can't go to any guy in security and say that, hey, this is my product. I'm giving a free trial. Try it. They won't. They just say on the face that I'm not listening to you. So you need to have a proper message, a story. Why did you create this? How did you create this? Why I should use it? Why you are not using it now?
Right.
I mean, they won't even listen to you.
Correct.
I mean, marketing in security is like way different from marketing in other techs.
Correct. That's true. So we have been talking about all the positive aspects of these things.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about the things that you really thought would work, but it like fell flat?
Okay. So this is a PR release which backfired.
Okay.
So I don't want to take the name of the company for a couple of reasons. So actually it's one of the government agencies which we're working with.
Okay.
And somehow there is something happened, and the marketing team back then did a press release that we're working with this particular company on so and so, and did some PR activity.
Okay.
And where they eventually forgot to mention about certain things. Okay. And there is a clause in our agreement saying that you can't do a press release while working with a government agency.
Okay.
So it's a moment marketing, but it's a backfired.
That's true. But like, it's probably also because like the team was very small, so you guys didn't go through the entire process of.
I mean, it depends on multiple things, right? Whenever you think of a company which is growing at a hyper growth stage, you think of ways to build your brand.
Right.
In that phase, you missed a lot of things. There are a couple of experiences at the end. We went to a stage where this guy is not paying us anything.
Okay.
And he's using a service for free because we did a PR release.
Okay, got it. All right. Anything else you want to cover in moment marketing before we move to the next section?
I think that sorts it out. But if you have any particular questions on how do you really think of a moment marketing approach, I can give a couple of examples.
Yeah, please do.
So moment marketing is just like influencing a particular situation, right? So if you are in a particular industry, look for guys who are the decision makers for the entire industry. Let's say look for someone, if he says Instagram is dead today, the whole industry will believe him. So look for those guys.
Okay.
And follow those guys. What are they talking about?
Right. Makes sense.
So look for those guys who claim that this is wrong, and they get some bad and positive PR out of it. So this is an approach which defines your moment marketing initial point, where you think, hey, this is a user and this is what he's claiming. And if he's talking about it, the whole world believes it.
This is very interesting because this kind of ties then influencer marketing, but you're not using the influencer to say certain thing, but you're just following that person. And then the moment she puts up something that you can use, then you use moment marketing and then like create a content around that.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay. So that's one.
Yeah.
What else?
So you want to give me more? Okay. So that is one. Two is always look for your competitors. Like what are they doing? What are they not? So you don't believe me. I have Google alerts triggering me every day. Whenever someone writes a negative review of my top 10 competitors, I get a Google alert.
Okay. Cool. competitor analysis. So yeah, this is your art of war with Sun Tzu, right? Like understand your enemy.
Yeah.
Huh.
I
Okay.
mean, the multiple things, but as a start, you need to start at some point, right? So this is your starting point.
Right.
When you dig deep into it, then you should be applicable. I mean, can create your own framework into it. I
Okay.
mean, I have a defined framework which works for me,
Right.
but I can't say that the framework which works for you.
Correct. Huh.
But this would act as a starting point to just start your journey into the moment marketing.
Very nice. All right, let's go into the rapid fire round now. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the best purchase under 5,000 that had a positive impact in your life recently or at any point in time?
So probably the couple of AppSumo deals which I buy. So a lot of them had a very big impact. So yeah, so AppSumo is a lifetime deal if you might not know. So I was at this one stage where I can't afford a SEO tool.
Okay.
And I have a big project. I mean, the tool is like for $100, but if oh, sorry, something went wrong. I think something. Okay. But this is a big project which is worth a good amount of money. If I can't have that tool, I can't take up that project.
Right.
But I don't have that initial money to buy it. So these kind of things change my journey towards a lot of things.
Okay. So what did you buy with 5,000 rupees?
So I grabbed a lifetime deal on AppSumo that is back in, I think probably like 4-5 years back.
Oh, lovely. So you still have that?
I still have that.
Oh, awesome. But like, do you find AppSumo useful for Indian content?
A lot. I mean, think of this thing. So consider you're building a startup where you're evaluating a lot of things. Consider you are, as a marketing guy, you're trying A, B, C, and D tools, and you don't want it to pay $50 or $100 per month. The good thing about AppSumo is like you try the tool. If you're not liking it, you get the initial refund. If you like it, you grab it for an entire life for $49.
Okay. Cool.
I mean, if you're very lean, like you have string marketing budgets when you're starting up and you don't know what tool to use, what not, you're just figuring out your own things, right?
Right. True. Acha, so next one. Became like a slow fire round, but it's okay. What's the book that you have given most as a gift?
So the world of marketing, there is one book called as Steve Jobs' Presentation. So where the author talks about how you need to present your ideas well. So this is an example he takes it. So when they're releasing the first iPod, they talks about 1,000 songs in your pocket.
Right.
Sony is doing the same thing when they're talking about some other thing, but they didn't sell because what really sold is 1,000 songs in your pocket.
Right. True.
So this is one kind of book which I love. Other one is Underground Marketing by Russell Brunson. Russell Brunson is the founder of ClickFunnels. So ClickFunnels is a marketing tool that changed the entire industry of how marketing works.
Okay.
So they're a company where they're bootstrapped and they are currently doing about 100 million. And the growth is in like 4 or 5 years.
Very nice.
So these are the kind of books which fascinates me. I mean, everyone has their own choice of books, but they're like my kind of books which I read.
Lovely. Okay. Next one. How has a failure or an apparent failure set you up for later success? Which is what you're doing right now. Let's assume this is like, yeah.
So always consider a failure as your starting point to do something big. So I see a lot of parents and a lot of guys who say that, hey, get a job in TCS, get a job in Wipro, and all of that. I mean, that is limiting yourself from something which you wanted to do.
Okay.
If the kid wanted to do something, don't limit him for certain things. Let him do the thing. If it's not working out, then let him figure out. Hey, you just turned 21 when you're completing your graduation, and you're not that old. I think you will figure out your things until you reach 26 or 27. That is when you figure out your things. So play with the things until 26 or 27. Then figure out what you actually wanted to do.
Okay, that's interesting. But like I don't. But what's the failure though? Sure, first failure for you.
So the first failure is there are a lot of failures. So there is this thing where when my dad said like you're not fit for anything and you can't do any stuff and all of that, but eventually that gave me the motivation to do something big. And it's not about just my dad, like a lot of people who said that, hey, you're just wasting your time on working on an idea which doesn't work. When I was my third year of grad, second year of grad, like a lot of my professors said, even my best friend said, hey, why are you wasting your time? And you're not even enjoying your life, and you're not even working on something which is valued. You're just wasting your time. I mean, that is a negative thing, and that affected me for a couple of months. Like, am I really doing that, or this is just what they feel?
Okay.
And after some point, I didn't care what they say. There are a couple of days when I didn't talk to a lot of my friends for, let's say, 6 months, 8 months. And then I used to work on my own things. And then they came back after a couple of days. I mean, that is when they realized that, hey, this guy is doing something better.
Very nice. Okay. If you could have a gigantic billboard anywhere with anything you want on it, right? What would the words be on that billboard that summarizes your life or like a world value that you stand by?
As a professional and as a person, I value three things. So one is always have right mentors in your industry, and right mentors in the sense, like, even there are few mentors who say that, hey, do this, do that, but eventually they won't help you in figuring out when you're not doing, when something is not going right. So you need to have someone where who would act as a friend. Even your friend could be a mentor. Even if your family friend could be a mentor. Even your ex-boss could be a mentor. So figure out that right mentor. So if I have a board, I'll have three things. One is I'll write who is my mentor, what I'm going to do today. I don't want you to talk about what I'm doing. In marketing, you talk about, hey, 3-month plan, 6-month plan, 8-month plan, and 1-year plan. That is on the professional, but you want to be better as a person, and also better in terms of a lot of things. Start with today, execute it, then go with tomorrow. So don't procrastinate things that, hey, I wanted to do this. How do I do? Do I have budget? Do I have the tools? Do I have my resources? Do I have a content writer in place? Do I have a designer? Don't procrastinate things. Figure out what you have. Try executing using that.
Okay.
That's all you need to do.
That's the second one. What's the third?
I mean, third is always just have a couple of guys who believe in you. Have some close circle. I mean, in the startup world and always in the professional world, the way we're moving and a lot of things, you need to have some good people. So just have a good couple of friends where you can hang out with. That's it. That's all I would say.
Okay, very nice. Do you remember the inflection point when you decided to do what you're doing right now?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
So this is my inflection point. So before, so this happened when I was joining Crazy Heads, and before that, I had a startup. So there's like 3-member team. Things are not going well right from first 1 week. I mean, there are a lot of arguments. We're not agreeing on anything. That is when I went back and thought, like, is this what I wanted to do, or is it something else? So that got to my phase where I could think of a lot of things. So I have like A, B, C, D, E, and F. And what am I going to do if I'm choosing A? What am I going to do if I'm choosing B? Giving an example, after that, I had an option to do an internship at IIM Bangalore. I have an option to do work with Crazy Heads, and then eventually being the co-member and all of that. I had an internship with Yelp, which is remote,
Nice.
and I have like a couple of other options. But what I eventually choose is the point which triggered a lot of things.
Right. So you ended up choosing Crazy Heads.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay, so this is something that most people go through, especially marketers. Like you do a particular campaign, it doesn't work as well that you had hoped for. So there are moments when you feel down, right? Like how do you pick yourself up when that happens?
So this thing. So don't consider marketing as a very successful journey. First thing. So let's say if you're doing 10 campaigns, one will work out. Or sometimes even that one will not work out.
Okay. That's
so
true.
if you are seeing something, so give a particular time to each of the campaigns of what are things you're doing. So understand what is the average industry success rate, like how many days a particular guy is doing and where he's getting succeeded.
Right.
Optimize that to that level where you're saying if something is not going right, leave that, pick up some other idea, execute that, and then maybe after 2 months or something, come back to this.
Okay.
Think of a new approach. So that is what I do.
Okay. All right. Very nice. What advice would you give to a smart, driven college student who's about to enter the real world, right? And what advice should they ignore?
So first thing, don't fear about your placements. Don't fear. I mean, your placement is not going to teach you anything in the real world. I mean, always choose your first company where you can learn things and build good relationships. Don't think like, hey, I'm studying in IIT, BITS Pilani, VIT. Why should I work with the startup? So don't think of those. So you're not too big to earn a lot of money.
Right.
You need to figure out if the industry which you're picking is right for you. You don't even know that. So it took me a lot of time to understand that marketing is right for me.
Correct.
So if you see a lot of marketers, so a lot of marketers come from a software engineering background.
Right.
So at some point, a lot of guys realize that marketing is for me. So you need to get to that realization where you need to experiment things and figure out if this is right. Is this what I wanted to do down the lane of 5 to 10 years? Or this is what I wanted to see in me.
Very nice. All right. Do you think I've missed anything? Is there a question that I should have asked?
So there is one tip I wanted to give for someone come into marketing, right?
Right.
So consider, so there's a different acronyms, synonyms coming for the growth marketing, growth hacker, and all of that. And these are overhyped. So don't get into the overhyped titles and all of that. Figure out what you can actually do. So there are two things. One is whether you are some guy who can execute only two things and not you don't have a hands-on on multiple things. Then choose a company which is more established and more where it is driven by processes than experiments.
Right.
If you are some guy who can get hands-on on A to Z, starting from paid ads to ABM campaigns to content, building landing pages, building n number of stuff, then get into a startup.
Mm. Mm.
So figure out where you can go, whether you're a process guy or you're an executor.
Right. But don't you think like process helps you execute faster?
A process helps execute faster, but you're only process driven, then you're just setting up
Right.
documentation, right?
Right.
You're not executing things unless you go in the room and say that, hey, this is what I did, and this is what worked out, and this is what I did in this particular campaign.
Lovely. Mm.
And you need to you don't have you need to be in a phase where you don't have your resources. You need to write your landing page, you need to understand your heat maps, you need to write your ad copies, you need to understand what keywords work,
Mm.
how you need to bid your campaigns,
Right.
what kind of you need to also learn. If there are times where I learned Python, I don't know Python,
Mm.
I have to learn Python because I wanted to understand how the schema works on a website.
Right.
And how can I implement the JSON parameters and all of that shit.
Mm. 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 Mm.
So you need to be that guy where either you can get on hands-on and do, you're not a master in anything, but you can do, learn and do and execute things, or you wanted to be focused on one or two things and then do that.
Okay, lovely. Chaitanya, this has been a pleasure really talking to you. I'm gonna read this book called The Underground Marketer
Yeah.
or Underground Marketing.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing. And I really liked your answer about the billboard thing as well. People usually give a quote and you kind of broke it down into three different things. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll take questions, and guys, if you want to come on cam and ask the questions, we can do that, or if you want to put it up on chat, that's fine as well. Yeah, it could be around moment marketing, it could be about
anything. I mean, you can ask me about anything. I mean, little anything. You just open my ears. Yeah.
one second.
Hi Chaitanya, Rasika here.
Hey Rasika, hi.
Hi. So I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone wants to go viral these days.
Yes.
So whatever the definition of their own viral means,
Mm-hmm.
since we don't know what clicks and what doesn't,
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to understand there's a bias which says that it's easier for the bigger brands to latch onto the trends because in any case they get a lot of traction.
Mm-hmm.
So if they post something topical, it's generally seen as it's easier for them to garner attention around that, as opposed to any upcoming or new brand.
Okay.
So yeah. So what would you
so consider this thing. So why would a user go viral? It's not something which I wanted to pay money and go viral. It's the dopamine effect which I would consider. Consider why Facebook went viral when they're launching. They don't have money. They're not a big brand. They're just sitting out of college. So it's a dopamine effect which kept the user addictive to the platform. So I want to see who are my friends are. I wanted to talk to, add a lot of new friends. So these are the features which keep you stick to the platform. So think, so this can be an example from a consumer perspective. So think an example where what are the things that can stick user. So always from the content perspective, it could be shareable content. Let's see, I'm talking about how my company did some XYZ. It's useful for me. But you're talking about how XYZ failed and did something. So that is a shareable and share-worthy content. So that is the virality and all the viral dopamine effect and how it's all, the virality is all about two things. One is the dopamine and other one is the neural psychology plus couple of things which we consider. Am I clear or
Okay,
you want?
Well, slightly. What I wanted to ask was, for example, the latest trend, if you see the search history, Google search history trend, which is the most latest, which is going on. So, as a new brand, it takes you more effort to come up with content which is kind of, very much, even if it's relatable, it doesn't tend to garner too much attention as opposed to something, I won't say lame, but something even mediocre, which is being posted out by big brands. Say, suppose a Coca-Cola puts up its search history, that is bound to get more traction as opposed to something even witty if any other smaller brand
Yeah,
puts up.
got it. So
Yeah.
consider this thing. So consider Tinder as a company. So whenever they post content, they use people as their content creators, which means you need to build a credibility first. So Coca-Cola, the Nikes of the world and all this already have the credibility to talk about something and people will just believe it. So how do you as a small brand create credibility? Something you need to understand whether you have your founder has that influence where he can talk about something and people will believe and start get attracted to it, or figure out a way where you build that influence and then got make that particular thing viral, or uh, collaborate with some influencer and make that thing viral. So I can name a lot of very small startups which are like 3 and 4 member startups which went viral because they built the credibility first. So they did launches and a lot of things and then build the initial traction, build the credibility, then they use that credibility to take the virality as a place.
Got it. Thank you.
Suman?
Hey Chaitanya, Suman here.
Hey Suman, hi.
Yeah. Hi, thanks for the session, man. So I'm not sure if you have observed, there are a bunch of fresh graduates or people who are pursuing their final year, final year in the audience. Someone who would be interested in carrying out a career like you or shaping up a career like you, what are the top things that you would advise them to start doing right now, just after this podcast ends?
Just after this podcast, so one thing is be data driven. Always question things. So let's say consider marketing or consider anything. So let's say someone says that this book is selling well. Is this book really selling, or he's just claiming it is selling? So you need to question things. So when you start questioning things, that gives answers to a lot of things. So don't believe someone just says like someone sees online, someone talks about that online. So always be a data-driven approach that which you can implement in your professional and personal life. So that is one thing which I would say.
Nice. Okay.
Thank you.
There's a question on chat.
Yeah.
Hey, Tanya, let's consider you just started up with very limited resources. What's the first few things you would do to get your first customer and create a brand for yourself in the starting stage?
To be frank, when I started up, it's just me. Always I had a limited resources. I never had resources which I already want. Even now, I don't have the resources which I want. So bringing my first customer, first is who is my first customer is one thing which I wanted to figure out. So I will drill down 100 companies who are, I call them as aimable companies. I will start cold outreaching to all of them. So this is my first thing which I will do. If I'm starting a company where I'm the solo founder, considering I'm doing everything, I'm working with freelancers, what I'll do is I'll pick up LinkedIn, I'll figure out who are my top 100 companies. If I wanted to grow at that level, I'll start outreaching to all of them.
Okay, so first select the first 100 people that you want to target
Yeah,
then
100
you'll
companies
definitely-
which can be your customers,
Right.
who are aimable companies. It's not a small company. Consider the Pepsis of the industry or Apples of the world in that particular industry. Consider those are as your aimable companies.
Yeah, because the effort is going to be the same. So might
Yeah.
as well like get to the big fish.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So this is from Sumit. Hey Chaitanya, any particular hard skill or software I need to learn to get into the growth marketing sector?
Work on your math, nothing else.
Math.
Yes, obviously. Work on your math, work on your statistics, work on your logical ability. Be focused on your data-driven approach. Question everything. Always question things. There is no tool. So let's say you're using a tool like SEMrush. What does SEMrush? You just hit a URL. It gives you a lot of details. But if you don't understand what is a page relevance, what are the keywords, why they're ranking, why a particular keyword called as marketing tools is ranking, why the keyword called as best marketing tools is not ranking, you don't have an answer, or the tool is of no use. So it's all data driven with data, driven with hows and whys in marketing.
Right.
It's not the tool which does the work. It's all the data which does the work.
Correct. So, but how do you balance this very logical set of a mind frame when you're on the creative part? Let's say you are designing something or writing an ad copy, right? So a good balance is what is required, right?
Yeah, I mean, so consider I'm writing an ad copy. At that point, what I need to know is what are my so look at first thing. If you're writing an ad copy, are you the guy who can write ad copies, or you're trying it for the first time? First, understand that.
Right.
Two is what are the USPs which a user would click. So write it on a paper. See that if you're seeing that as a pamphlet or a normal paper, would you going to buy that thing or not?
Right.
Then put it in an ad copy, the Google Planner and all of that.
Okay.
If you're not buying the product, no one is going to buy it.
Right. That's true.
I mean, show it to someone who doesn't have any knowledge about the product. He can be one of your cousins of 9th class or 7th class. Show him. Always like we talk in marketing, like talk like you understand. It understands to anyone in the thing. Like whether he can be a 3-year-old or 7-year-old or 10-year-old. If these are the people who you are targeting and he can't understand anything, it's not going to sell.
Right.
Because if you talk about features like vulnerability assessment, compliances, data, no one is going to understand. Even the CISOs sitting there, they don't understand this shit.
Right. Cool. Nice point. Guys, any other questions? Overshot also by 5 minutes. We'll wait for like 5 seconds. If there are no questions, we'll close. All right. Thanks a lot, Chaitanya, for doing this. This was really lovely having you. More than, what I really liked, I mean, apart from whatever I already said, is the fact that you're able to consistently follow through on what you set your mind, right?
Yeah.
Be it while you're in your engineering college, and then like though your friends are all out partying and whatnot, you are more about building WordPress websites. And then at some point you felt that this college degree is not gonna mean shit, so like you left that and you went out, and then then amongst all the options that were available to you, you chose Crazy Heads, and that again is a contrarian thing. Like you could have gone with IIM Bangalore, you could have gone with the ELP remote thing, right?
Yeah.
Going out with that is again basically following what you wanted, because at that point probably you wanted to learn a lot more, right?
Yeah, you need to learn that intuition, what drives you towards a particular thing. So I think it didn't drive me at that point because I'm not capable of. So you don't learn the execution part of looking at things. So what you learn is the theoretical approach and building processes.
Right.
So that makes sense when you know how you can execute things at a basic level.
Right.
When I'm looking at eventually I went to IIM. That is when, after 2 years. So that is when I know the shit, like what I wanted to do, how does this work and all of that.
Right.
So
Right.
you need to figure out which stage you are in the first place.
Basically, you're a very self-aware person. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
And that's like the bare minimum for anyone to grow, right?
Yes.
Once they're
Like you
aware-
need to know like whether this is right for me or this is what I wanted to do, or if I'm doing this thing, it makes sense because there could be some guy who is earning a lot and he is coming from IIT and all of that, and some guy comments that, hey, this guy is earning from IIT and why don't you do that? That guy is doing something which he loves. I mean, it's
Right.
not what I wanted to do.
Very nice. Hopefully, we'll have you back again, and
Yeah.
you know, like 5-10 years down the line, you'll probably be one of the top marketers in the world,
Let's
and
see.
I can clearly see that happening as well. All right, great. Thanks a
And
lot, man. Thanks a lot for
yeah.
spending like almost 60-70 minutes with us.
Yeah, and all the best to you guys too. I hope you build something like the Growth Tribe of India or the Product Hunt out of India.
All right, yeah.
Build a good community. We are in lack of good communities. There are communities starting up, but eventually it's getting exhausted and diluted on
Right.
the flow.
Right.
So I wanted to just address that. Let's be consistent and execute things that make sense to people based on what is the audience. So that keeps the ball rolling. So that is what I just wanted to give as a session.
All right, lovely, and hope to see you in our community also. You know.
Yeah, sure. Anytime.
All right.
All right.
Thanks a lot. Lovely.
Thanks. Bye.